Rick Robinson here with Headline Books and Zoom into Books, the preeminent author interview site on your internet. The Google, as my grandmother calls it. You can go on the Google and find Zoom into Books, and you'll find some of the wonderful authors here at the American Library Association 2025 edition of their annual conference, and I am joined here right now by Sharon Barnes. Sharon, welcome to Zoom into Books.
Hi, thank you.
So, you got to tell me a little bit about what is going on with this book, Shanghai Sunset.
Shanghai Sunset is about a young woman named Breeze Lee. She is a mixed martial artist. She's one of the best in her age and weight division. And she gets in a domestic violence situation, and it is her story of redemption, salvation, and revenge.
Oh, and revenge.
And revenge. We got it all.
Okay, so let's start with a little bit of the inspiration for this book. Where does this come from? Is Breeze Lee a little bit of a play on Bruce Lee, maybe?
No, somebody asked me that the other day. Actually, I got behind a motorcycle on the way to work one morning, and I was really, really late. It was on the back of an old farm truck. And if you've ever been on a back road in the country, you know nobody's in your hurry except you.
Right.
So I was behind this truck, and I said, I wonder what it would take to get that motorcycle off the back of that truck. And I was like, well, if I can't, who could? And the image of Breeze came to me. So when I first started writing about her, it wasn't a play on Bruce Lee at all. It was more about her adventure, her spunk, her drive for life. So Breeze, like a summer breeze.
Like a summer breeze.
Yeah.
I love that. I absolutely love that. That's wonderful. So tell me about some of the challenges and adventures that Breeze goes through. Now, by the way, this is the first in what you hope to be a series, correct?
Yes, sir, that's correct.
So tell me about some of her adventures.
So Breeze likes to challenge all of her friends, and she will challenge them to the point that she'll break in their house and steal their clothes and have them go on a scavenger hunt to try to find them. Or she will challenge them and hide objects all over the state that they have to go and see who can win. And normally it's an adventure for her to get out of the state while they're on their scavenger hunt.
Okay, so what age group is this written for?
It's written for 18 to 25-year-olds, just to let them enjoy life, adventure, and fun.
Now, you write about in this book something that is, I don't want to say a forbidden topic, but a tough topic to write about, that is domestic violence.
Yes.
First off, why did you include that in the book?
Because there's not enough out there for young women who are in domestic violence situations and how to get out. And I wanted women to know that they have an option, they have a choice, and they can get out. No matter how bad it is, there's a way.
So help me here. You're dealing with a very sensitive topic.
Yes, sir.
But yet you want this book to be entertaining.
Yes.
How did you, as an author, come to be able to marry those two thoughts? Difficult topic, but I still want it to be fun.
Right.
How does that work into your mindset when you're writing?
So when I first started writing Breeze, she's fun, she's adventurous, and then when the incident happens where she's hospitalized, she really goes into depression, anxiety, thinking she's not good enough anymore, and it's what a lot of women go through when they're in domestic violence situations. And how do we get back to who we originally were? Who were we before the situation happened? And that's what Breeze's journey is about, is helping her remember who she is and who she was and where she wants to get to. So when I was writing, I had to keep in mind all the journeys that women go through that have been in domestic violence situations where they've had to run in the middle of the night, but they always had to have a hope, a glimmer of spark, of joy to remind them to get back to who they were. And that's what this book is about, is getting back.
Are you a fan of MMA? How did
Yes.
MMA come into this? Are you a big...
I'm a huge MMA fan. I formerly was in martial arts. My cousin is a black belt in martial arts. And I had a sensei. I am a survivor of domestic violence. And
I didn't want to ask that question, but I was wondering if that's where part of this comes from.
part of it does come from that, but
You know, for an author, there is no such thing as fiction.
that's right.
Always
There's
a little bit of truth in everything that's written.
There's a little bit of truth. I had a sensei, I came in with bruises on me, and she said, "Why didn't you call me?" And I said, "It wasn't your place for me to call you at 2 in the morning. You have a family." And she said, "I'm your sensei, and if you ever come in my dojo without calling me again, and you've been through this, I'll kick your ass." So
That sounds like a very wise sensei.
it was a very wise sensei. So from that, I realized that a lot more people are going through what I went through, and it doesn't matter what walk of life they're in, that it affects everybody.
So, doesn't matter what it is, anything else. How does Breeze go? Now, there's this group called the Underground, right?
Yes, yes.
How does she end up convincing the Underground that she's still on top of the world?
She picks up one of her biggest challenges of all and schedules an 8-fight weekend in the Underground, and her last competitor is the one who beat her the most.
Wonderful. Oh my gosh, I love this book already. This is a wonderful book. Hey, tell me, you gotta help me here, Sharon. How am I gonna find you online? Tell me how I can.
You can find me on
Somebody wants this book, how they come and find it.
You can find me on Amazon, Kobo, Barnes & Noble, Books A Million, but you can also come to my website at SharonABarnes.com.
BARNES, SharonABarnes.com. Sharon, thank you for being with us.
Thank
It
you.
has been delightful. Look forward to seeing this one. It's up on Zoom. And thank you for being here at the American Library Association 2025 edition, Philadelphia, PA. Sharon.
Thank you, Rick. I really appreciate it.